cute bunny. And for candy cups, I generally do mostly just the head. Sometimes I'll do a simple one balloon body, but I think that the height and, you know, sitting on the flower blossom is high enough for it. So let's get started with this. Now I like the bunny in gray. I just think it has a softer color to it, but you can choose any color that you want. Generally I tend to stay with white muzzle and cheeks. So what you're going to need for this one, if you want to do it in this color scheme, is you're going to need a 350 gray, 260 gray, and a rose or pink colored 260, as well as a pink heart. I like the pink because it's lighter, and usually around Easter time, you know, you've got the pastel colors and so forth. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to inflate my 260 here. I'm using a legenda today, but I've also got my filbert here. And it's funny, when I do my legenda, when I use my legenda, sometimes I'm counting off the seconds in which I want to do. So usually, like for this one, I'll count off to maybe 8 seconds. So there we go. And then I'm going to burp it just a little bit. And to save time, as opposed to tying 2 knots, I'm just going to bring it to the end here and tie 1 knot as opposed to 2 separate knots. And I'm going to trim off that excess. Then we're going to take this and split this into 2. You just split that, pull it apart, roll it, and then bring that together. And now you've got 2 ears. They're the same size. Next, we're going to go ahead and inflate the head with the 350. So on this, you don't really have to measure off how much air you need. Just inflate it, because you're not going to need the whole thing. And what I do is I just make it about, maybe not quite a full hand's width. You kind of have to just picture in your head a little bit what you think would be a good size for that face. You don't want it too long, or he's going to look too lanky. And a lot of things come out cute because of how pudgy or square the face is. So I'm going to make it about that wide. I'm going to take my ears and insert those now so that those are locked in. Okay? Then I'm going to match the back side to the front. Bring my nozzle, twist that through, and tie a knot. There we go. I can go ahead and cut off that excess so that you have this now. All right, now the next thing is to make our muzzle and the cheeks. Oh, actually, I need to inflate my rose-colored balloon first, because we're going to make the nose as well as the bottom flowerette. So we're going to use 1 balloon for that. So I'm going to inflate it about, again, probably about 8, no, let's see, I'll say 6 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're left with about that much tail left. I'm going to burp it just a little bit. And from here, we're going to make our little nose. So do about a 1-inch bubble. I'm going to break this off. And with a little bit of practice, you can capture your balloon so that you can save that for later. All right, from there, I'm going to bring this around and make a little nose from it. So bring that together, tie that in a square knot so that you have this. Now I'm going to go ahead and inflate a 260. Probably going to inflate it about 6 to 8 seconds, 6 or 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give that a burp to soften it up a little bit. Now I'm going to save myself in tying. I didn't tie the 260 off yet because I want to tie it to my nose. That way you can save time as opposed to doing double knots. So you have this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make what I would call is the chin of the rabbit. So I'm going to do about 2 to 2.5 inches for the chin. Then you're going to make a loop, not too big, about, if you look at the front of it, it's only about 2.5 inches. So it's about the same length as your chin. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gently push this segment down into this loop and pressure fit it so that I have part of the balloon, which is the nose, on top of the balloon, this loop here, and then the bottom of it protruding here. Okay? So then we're ready to make our cheeks. You don't want to make them too long, otherwise it just, again, we want to try and keep it to a square. So it's going to be about the same size of a loop as what we did for the muzzle. So give that a couple twists. So you've got this. Then we're going to make another loop. Twist that. Voila. And then we're going to make a finishing pinch twist in the back so that it keeps the top of our bunny's head forward or straight up and down, because we've got pressure on the front and pressure on the back. Kill that and tie that off. So this is what you have. And you can see that came together pretty quickly. Now we're ready to attach it to the top part of our head. So I'm going to grab the nozzle, pull it tight down into that opening so that you've got this. And so now we're almost done. We're going to make our 5 loop twist for the candy cup. So I just grab the nozzle, bring it down. It's about 1.5 inches on either side. And just squeeze, make a loop, squeeze, try and make them as even as possible. Squeeze, make a loop, and then 5. You can do 6, but I feel like 5 just kind of gives you a little bit more breathing room. It's not as sensitive to popping, and then we're going to go ahead and kill this. Arrange those. We're going to grab this little bit of tether that was left, pull that up into the bunny's head, kind of arrange a little bit there, rotate it, there. And then, if you want to give it a little bit of personality, you can tweak this ear downward a little bit and then leave the other one going straight up. And then we can add our heart balloon for a saying. Oops. Let's see here, we'll get a little pink heart here. So you can position this heart, down by the cheeks if you want, or you can put it up in the center, whatever you like. Maybe, let's see, I've got it positioned to the center here. I think I'll just go ahead and position it down next to this cheek. Maybe he's saying Happy Easter on the thing. Okay, so we're almost finished. Oh, let's see, I can turn the cheeks so that gives it a little bit more allowance for the balloon. It's up to you to see what kind of a look you want. All right. situated there. Okay, then we're ready to add our eyes. So this sheet comes with 6 pairs, and so they come off very easily. I usually grab 2 at a time so that I don't have to handle the sheet as often. And I like my eyes to go low to the nose. And if you don't like the way it looks, you can always reposition them without the fear of popping your balloon. So easily comes off, but is secure enough to stay. So, okay, there you have that. Now, I have a Happy Easter sticker available. Now, let me tell you how to place these. So, what I did was, this comes on a 3-layer sticker. Oops. Okay, 3 layers. And what you're going to do is you're going to, using your nail, pull off the top 2 layers. So there's nothing on the back wax paper. You just pull this forward so that you've got the words and the transfer paper together. From there, you're going to just eyeball it and rub this on to your balloon firmly. You can press pretty hard into the balloon. And what we're wanting to do is just put pressure on the letters that you want to stay. You don't really need to put pressure on this outer parts where it's not important of leaving it, because we're going to do what's called weeding the sticker off onto the balloon. So here you want the white part to grab. So can you see how it's grabbing that? And then I'm going to also push down so that the letters will grab the R, and you're going to just watch to see how it's revealing. And you don't really want to touch the lettering that much. You want the lettering to naturally release onto the balloon. Okay. And from there, you just keep pulling it off, revealing it. And you can see it from both sides. So sometimes what you can do is you can work off the first letter or the first word, I'm saying, and just kind of look to see if everything is releasing. There you go. Okay. And then we're going to do the T on the Easter here. It takes just a little bit of patience, but once you get it going, this is a lot easier than drawing it, believe me. Also, you know, with it being winter time, there's a lot of dryness in the air and electricity is flowing. So my little eddings, my white eddings, even though I really love it for the white that it makes, it sometimes goes really crazy in the winter time, and it will leave a crazed mark on my balloon, which once it's on there, it's not coming off. So there we've got that. Now I want to show you something. Usually I try to weed most of my balloons so that they don't have any of these extra pieces in it. But in case I forget, what you do is you just use your fingernail just to push into the balloon to grab that little piece that isn't wanted. Like this, okay? So I've got that. I took the little piece out of the Y there. And you don't really want to use something sharp. Your fingernail is sharp enough to grab it, but not puncture your balloon. So I got the little piece of the P out right there, and then this other little piece of the P. Sometimes I try to use fonts that lend themselves well for this, but that's a Happy font. So there you go. Just took a little bit of time. So again, you just have to look at it and play with it a little bit there. And then from there on, you would just throw that onto your candy cup like this.